Sherman, I want to talk about the cops and the mobs, all right, mob justice. There's been rioting and looting, violence is taking place in Philadelphia even right now. And the cops are being shot at. They're running over cops with trucks and things like that. Black Lives Matter is behind all this, along with Antifa. What do you think about what's happening right now to the cops and the mob justice?
Well, first, I would like to say that it's not Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter is not a group, it's just a slogan. So
what?
Before Black Lives Matter.
But don't let those fat black listeners know that.
It's a slogan. It's not a group. Like if Black Lives Matter is a group, where did they meet up at? Who's the organizer in each and every city? You know, there is not one.
But Patrice,
Black Lives Matter is just a slogan that just lets people know that Black Lives Matter. That's all it is. So
Patrice and all those women that black fat radical lesbians, they're not real.
Come on, man. No, I'm just saying,
Are you saying they're not real?
I mean, did they say, hey, you know, let's sum up the troops and let's go to Philadelphia and let's cause this havoc?
Well, I agree that somebody is over there paying it and organizing it. But they are the head of it.
I mean, this type of thing's been going on, like the 1992 riots. You know, like Black Lives Matter didn't exist then. Black Lives Matter didn't exist in 1965, the Watts riots. No, what it is it's oppressed people that don't have a voice, that are getting stressed the fuck out. You know, they've been stressed out for centuries. They have PTSD, post-traumatic slave syndrome, and they just have to. Yes.
I saw Patrice on the news the other day. She didn't look like she was depressed.
No, I'm just saying. I'm not talking about her. Hungry. I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about people in those communities. Now they have an outlet to express their anger.
But how is this benefiting them? They're tearing down statues and monuments and flags.
It's people that are stressed out,
killing
that
the
are
cops
oppressed.
and all that. How's that helping them?
What will help them is going through therapy and having opportunities.
Well, everybody's going to need therapy after this.
No, not everybody. It's those people that are in oppressed situations.
What?
Like if you oppress somebody for so long and then like, okay, you know, a guy got shot by the police. Now I have something to be mad about. Now I could express my anger. That's all it is. It's like if you're hungry. So there was
this guy by the name of Walter. What was Walter named? Wallace. He was chasing the cop down the street with a knife, right? And he didn't seem to be oppressed. He seemed to be high or something. How do you explain that?
I wasn't there. I just saw a video. I don't know what happens, but I guarantee
you. He has a criminal record.
That's cool, but I guarantee you, if he was a white man, he would be alive today.
Because he would not have been chasing.
Period.
You think that if there was a white man chasing the cop down the street?
Because a knife is not. I mean, you could run back. You don't have to kill somebody.
I don't agree with
you. You can run back.
I mean, that's cool. That's just what I believe. Because I've seen videos. I've seen videos of white men with weapons that don't get killed. I have.
But I'm sure there's some black
But you are right, though. A black man running towards the police with a knife to that police officer would be a threat. More of a threat than it would be if it was a white man.
So you support Black Lives Matter?
Oh man, Black Lives Matter again is not a group. It's just a saying.
It's absolutely an organization. And
it's an organization.
I mean,
Black Lives Matter LA have $3 million and all the money that they exploited from dead bodies. They have never gave anything to. I know because we had a lot of run-ins with them. But we chased them out of South Central LA. That's why you don't see them. we really did.
You didn't know it was an organization?
I mean, I just don't believe it's an organization.
You don't believe?
I just don't.
What do you think?
It's not.
I mean, because
anybody can throw a BLM march if you want to. You can go do one if you want. You can call it BLM and they'll register it on the site and everything.
You don't believe it's an organization as well?
He's absolutely right. 100%.
You can register.
You can register any business name you want in any state you want. LLCs
so that
are state
means
recognized
it's
entities.
An organization.
Anything can be an organization you want it to be. I'm an organization. Like that doesn't mean anything. But when people talk about BLM, BLM is a huge collection of tons of different people. You can't point to one guy running on a street with a knife and say that's BLM.
Right, there are other people working with them.
But there was some places, just some college kids together.
No, I've interviewed them. I interviewed them. There are a bunch of fat black radical lesbians.
I don't think that's every BLM.
Lesbians.
I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair to characterize the entire movement and everybody that's out there rioting or protesting as being some fat, overprivileged black person.
No, I'm just talking about the organizers.
Just BLM, not every
So the
just
tens of
BLM.
millions of people that were protesting over cities over the past like 8 months, these
They're
are all
joining
just,
BLM. That's how they raised $300 million for
Well,
the
how
guy.
do you join BLM?
You go to the website, just like you said, and
then just fill
Fill
it
like
out.
an email list, or
And then you
Are you
tell them,
assuming
I'll
nobody?
burn down this building.
That's what I'm saying.
Why
Like,
you go
I mean,
next door?
It's not. I mean, I know
So
organization.
you don't know it's an organization?
No, it's not that I don't know. It's that I do not believe it's an organization. All it is just saying that Black Lives Matter.
Sometimes
What do you
it's
think
all
about that,
hard to
Joe?
believe. The organization was created in 2013. And they've been around for a long time. They raised money. They organized protests. Now they're organizing riots because they got involved with Antifa and all these other organizations. I know because I've seen it. I went to Minneapolis after George Floyd died to protest against police brutality, and we saw the organization. We saw the people getting paid. We saw the trucks. We saw the cars. Even here in Los Angeles, we saw the same exact thing when they tried to burn down our police station on Imperial, and we chased them out of here. You know where they're from? Not L.A. They got paid to come out here.
if I were to have a BLM march right now, if I were to go outside, not
You got
right
to
now,
go to the website and
I
you
don't
have
have
to
to go to
register.
website though. If I were to say I'm going to have a Black Lives Matter march, I go on Facebook, I put together a group, and we all go out and do it. Is somebody going to sue me?
Yes.
No, they won't.
They're going to
No,
say,
they
you know
won't.
what, we're going to
No,
join.
they'll
We're
kill
gonna
him.
pay
No,
you
they
to
can't sue.
join.
Also, if
No,
you
no,
watch
no.
any
They
video,
will
if you
kill
watch- if
you.
No one's going to kill me.
White
Maybe
people are
Tyson
not
in New York.
allowed. No,
If
white
you
people
were
are
to
not
watch-
allowed to
if you
have
were to
a.
watch any of the 24 streams that we're running for all across all the cities in the U.S. for all these people, for all of the BLM and Antifa people protesting. Usually the BLM people were telling the Antifa people to am I allowed to swear here? To F off? Can I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, to fuck off. If you look at like any of these videos, usually it's
many protests have you been to?
how many? I've watched a lot. I'm not going out there. I don't want to get sick.
So you didn't go. You just okay.
So you didn't go into one protest? Did you speak out about protests all across the country?
I've been to a lot. I'm black.
Really, in
Yes,
every
I've
single
been to
city
a lot.
across the country. You were in Seattle, you were in
I've been to-
Portland,
I've
you
been
were
to
in
Seattle.
LA, you were in
I've been to
Chicago, you were in
Seattle, I've been
DC,
to
you were in
Portland.
Baltimore, you were in Miami.
Yes,
No, you were not at
absolutely.
every single one of these protests.
Go
Don't
to my
pretend. That's not
website
true.
and go check and
That's not.
see.
I don't have to go to your website. I already know because
because
half the shit
you
you're saying
saw
is
the
right.
video. He didn't see you on the video,
because
that's why it doesn't
you believe that BLM is an organization that was
BLM
clearly
is
created.
absolutely an
It's a
organization.
slogan.
You just said you have to go register in order to
I
register.
just said that you don't have to register.
Tekashi 6ix9ine had no organization, but yet he got hit on a federal charge for having an organization.
He can have an organization, but BLM
So he can
is
have an
not.
organization, but BLM can't, and they're organized.
Anybody can make if you guys
You're
want
right.
for $50, you can register an LLC and call it whatever the hell you want. You can do that. That's
And
your
you
right as an
also
American.
Go to the website and you
The
can
whole
register.
point-
And the website actually registers if you pay money, go to ActBlue, and they give all that money to Democrats, right? Because that's
If you want to
organization
fundraise,
does.
but I don't know what
I
that
mean,
has to do with this.
but
If you
Joe,
want to have
Joe,
a black line,
Joe, that
listen, you guys
does
can try. I'll
exist.
pay your
I mean,
legal
we're
fees.
not saying that it
I will
doesn't
pay.
exist.
It's an organization.
But like both of you are right at the same time.
There can be organizations that call
He's
themselves
right.
BLM.
Like, no, I mean both of you are right.
No,
Like,
he's right.
both of y'all are right.
I don't have to be right. He's right. He's the right. He's the
Yo,
right guy.
Andrew,
I'm on it right, but he is right.
Andrew,
Even
where
though
did
he's
this
left.
idea come from that Black Lives Matter is not an organization?
Well, I said that. when you asked me.
No, it's
Oh, you just made that up?
No,
he's
that's
correct.
just what I believe.
You smoke pot?
No, I don't. I don't smoke. I don't drink.
Well, I
don't do
got a
anything.
joint for you.
No, I don't.
Welcome to pot.
I just want to say a good word
Is
for
it
the,
an
I want
organ-
to say a good word for the police. I want to say a good word for
Yes,
the cops.
please.
This may be completely unpopular. I don't care. You know, by the time an event gets to the police officers, so many things have failed in society that he has got very few options. He's got the option. He's got to go home safe to his family. We sent him out there to do what he does.
Yeah.
And if there are failures, if there are social failures that are causing crime in certain communities, that's not on him. That's not something he created. It's like the vote. By the time it gets to the vote, you got two choices. You vote Democrat or you vote Republican or you throw your vote away. The cop is in the same situation. He is the last guy on the line of failure. And the fact that we have this idea that you defund the police or you even condemn the police for things that happen. Look, obviously the bad cops and bad things happen. There's a city's worth of cops in this country. There's the population of San Francisco number of cops in this country. They're going to be bad guys in there. That's not the point. But the whole idea that they should be condemned en masse for dealing with problems that none of us, none of the rest of the population has to deal with. They are dealing with things in situations of danger. And when you hear guys like Joe Biden say idiotic stuff like shoot him in the leg, which makes me feel like he's actually never handled a firearm before. That's leaving those guys out there, or saying that a knife isn't as dangerous as a gun. And in close quarters, a knife is more dangerous than a gun. I mean, a knife is a dangerous weapon. Yeah. And so I just think we just leave them out there alone, and then sort of ask them to act like social workers, which they're not.
just to show you how serious a knife is, over in France yesterday, some guy went into a church and cut off a person's head with a
I
knife.
never said a knife is
I rest
serious.
my case.
I'm just
Wait a second. When that guy walked into the Christchurch mosque, how many people did he kill?
I don't know, but I just know about the one
In
that
the
did it.
Vegas shooter, how many people did he kill? The
Well,
Miami
we talk
how
about
many
with
people
a
did he kill?
knife.
Yeah, but
There's a
I'm
reason
just saying,
why
like,
people-
from what I seen with the on the video, it just looked like they were a distance apart. Like that's what I'm saying. It's
When
not
you
like
have a
they
knife
were-
coming
he
after
wasn't
you, there's no distance.
I mean, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
So should they be designated, Black Lives Matter, a terrorist organization?
Should they be designated a terrorist organization?
Yes.
That's a little tough. No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say
What?
that. But no, because
What do you need?
they are a Marxist organization.
Yeah.
And they certainly are. You go on their website, and the stuff they say, they've taken some of it down, but it's actually radical, terrible stuff that would enslave people, that would bring down our economy, bring down our society. So, yeah, they're definitely an organization. They're definitely a Marxist organization. They're definitely bad guys. Terrorists, I don't know. Are they blowing things up? Maybe some of them are. Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past them. As a matter of fact, they're thinking that next week they're going to have another mob attack. And so they started to board up businesses in Washington, D.C.,
Yeah.
even in Beverly Hills. They're boarding up businesses. But the mayor said the other day, they are not going to, and so they better watch out if they go to Beverly Hills.
That's interesting. It's
Yeah.
about time.
Yeah, it is. Should they be designated a terrorist organization?
No, because they're not an organization.
Amazing. What do you say?
I'm not 100% sure, and the reason why is because when we seen them, it wasn't Black Lives Matter that was destroying stuff. It was the people who were infiltrating Black Lives Matter. Now, if you have to turn to an organization to dissuade people from destroying things, then absolutely. But at the end of the day, it wasn't Black Lives Matter that was tearing up stuff.
But if
organized
they
these
were
marches.
not out there doing what they were doing, would those people have been there?
Protesting is a right that the
That wasn't
Constitution
protesting.
grants.
They were burning, robbed. They were stealing refrigerators. How do you steal a refrigerator?
But that
And
doesn't.
what that have? They didn't
doesn't-
have food to put in the refrigerator.
That doesn't designate a terrorist organization, though.
But they
stealing
were
things.
killing and running over cops and everything.
Then they need to get penalized. But a terrorist organization would be like Antifa. That's a terrorist organization.
Oh, you about yeah.
That's a terror. Like Antifa
So
would
you
be a
said
terrorist
no, they
organization.
should not be.
I would say it's debatable.
Oh, okay. What do you say? As if I don't know.
Yeah, no. Of course not. Why would you designate a terrorist organization for people that protest? The vast majority of BLM protesters and even Antifa protesters are peaceful protesters.
Should they be designated a terrorist organization?
No, of course not. Because Antifa is as much an organization as BLM is.
They're not an organization either.
Nope.
How about Antifa?
Yes, absolutely. Antifa needs to go.
Should they be designated a terrorist group?
Yes, they should.
Are you familiar with Antifa?
I mean, I tried to look them up, but there's not much out there besides like what I hear from
They're a
Trump
bunch of
and
white
whoever.
people that wear masks.
Well, if you go to
I mean, but that's
Antifa.com,
what
it
I'm
takes you to
saying,
Joe
like-
Biden's site. That's
Like
why.
when I looked them up, I was kind of like confused on what they are about, who
Yeah.
it is, who's the leader, where. But that's what I mean. Like when we talk about organizations like the SCLC, like there's a leader, there's somebody that takes charge. They have meetings, So it's like those are organizations to me.
Okay.
But like Black Lives Matter, you saying like, okay, the person ran the police over. That could have been an individual that was just mad, just trying to do something. You
But-
don't know that they're a part of Black Lives Matter at all.
But they were out there with them.
Their black people have been protesting in every major city, like for like the past century.
Amazing.
That's not all that, then they were not Black Lives Matter. If
How
something
about-
happens to a black individual where they feel like it's injustice, it will cause a protest that'll more than likely cause a riot. Have you ever been to a protest like before the cameras and all this social media stuff back in the day?
Yeah.
Yeah, people are crazy and they're mad and they want to find a way to expound their anger.
I
So-
remember once we had a protest up in West LA at the Federal Building. We wanted to shut down the borders and keep the illegals out. And the Mexicans came. And they had bricks and they had frozen Coke cans and they were throwing them at us and they were violent.
Right. Well, that's
But
what
now the
happened.
Mexicans are my friends. Hola. Come and see ya. So one quick question. Should Antifa be considered a terrorist
They're
organization?
fascist street thugs. They're Antifa. You know, FA stands for fascist and anti stands for nothing. They're fascist street thugs. I don't know if that's a terrorist organization, Jesse. I mean, again, are they plotting? You know,
What else do they need to know for you to know that they are terrorists? What else do they need to do?
Are they plotting? You know, paramilitary attacks on the country?
I wouldn't take that risk with them.
Yeah, but you'd have to do something before you call them terrorists, right?
Definition of terrorism.
What's the definition?
Trying to influence the political climate through violent action.
I rest my case.
Technically, if we're going legally, there is no such thing as a domestic terrorist designation by the
Well,
FBI.
what
It
I-
has to be a foreign designation.
Well,
That's
two-
just a fact. Even the KKK is not a terrorist organization. That's just not how we view them in the United States.
Yeah.
When
Two
I joined the
things
military, I took an oath to support and defend the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic. So therefore, according to that oath, there has to be some type of domestic terrorist organization, or we wouldn't have to take an oath to it in the military. So.